Hey bloomers! I am Danielle Freckleton. Welcome back to another episode of Blooming by Grace, a space where we use grace to chart our journey. We all have encountered challenges, fears, or failures. But no matter what it is, this is a place, the only space where we will bloom. And darlings, we're not just blooming, but we are blooming by grace. Who said you were naked? This question was asked to Adam and Eve in the garden when they had sinned. God was like, brother, sister, who was on a naked? Like, how one was on a naked? What really going? But it really resonated to me, this question, especially in this time where we're living, where persons are becoming so insecure about themselves, especially as it relates to what is being done on social media and all these works. Some people start questioning their worth, or some person starts questioning their identity, and they're asking God, like,
why am I like this? Or why am I not like this?
all these whys. But who said you were naked? First thing we have to establish when thinking about insecurity or thinking about even wanting to get over being insecure is the first thing to acknowledge that we are actually insecure. Sometimes we're on the journey and we're like,
No, I'm not like this, and no, I'm not like that.
when truth and in fact we are. We have one or two things that we're probably insecure about. The first thing that I'm asking you to do today is to acknowledge that yes, you are insecure. And when you find out the fact that yes, you are insecure, the second thing I want you to do is to find the source of that insecurity. Think about it. Where is this coming from? Is it coming from an experience of the past? Is it coming from social events? Is it coming from religious reasons? Is it coming from psychological reasons? What are the reasons? Think about it. Why do you think you are naked? All right, some persons might be like, I don't think I'm naked. Not that I'm bashing this or anything, but think about the reason why you wear makeup. Or think about the reason why you wear the particular clothes you wear. Or think about the reason why you go the places you go. Think about the reason why you have the friends you have. Think about these things. And there are other things that we could think about that spans insecurity. So that's what I want you to think about at the end of this video. And after doing those two things, realizing that you actually have it, realizing what it is, the third thing that I would recommend for you to do as it relates to dealing with insecurity is to find out what God says about this particular thing. Who does God say you are? The first thing we miss this sometimes, because yes, we have the Bible and yes, we read it, but like sometimes, like,
God, this piece applies to me, but this piece not really applies to me. Like the time when you go as far as to say, I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Like, are you sure, God?
He's like,
Yes, I am sure.
even with our imperfections, like this was what I always tell myself when I was growing up, with every single pimple, with every single blemish, with every single everything bruise, everything mark, everything. I am imperfectly beautiful. Why? Because imperfection is beauty. And most of the times, some of the things that we put onto ourselves, they really doesn't make us look better. Or sometimes the way how we react, or the people whom we find ourselves with, thinking that okay, because I'm with this particular crowd, or because I'm with this name, or because I'm whatever, then it will shield us from the fact that we are insecure about ourselves. But no, what it really does, it's like it's telling you that there is an error. Something is happening inside. And you have to find that thing. You have to find out, all right, what does God say about me? And after you find out what God says about you, this is what I want you to know. We are all unique. There's a reason why God made me Daniel. There's a reason why God made you whomever you are. I remember this math teacher. I had this math teacher in high school. She would come in and she would say, imagine if I would look like you and you would look like me, we would all look like aliens. That simply means that if all of us were alike, if all of us think the same way, if all of us liked the same thing, if all of us had straight nose, and if all of us had long curly hair, and if all of us had pretty brown skin or nice chocolate skin, what a boring world this would be. So we're all unique. We all stand in our different sphere. It doesn't matter our color, it doesn't matter our race, it doesn't matter our beliefs. We all stand as individuals, unique, made by God, for God, in an imperfect world. God sees us as imperfectly perfect. We are, everybody makes sense because you and I, with our own uniqueness, we add something valuable to this world. And that's what I want you to do. Believe in your uniqueness. And when you do that, shun the negative thoughts. Shun the negativity. When the thoughts come, remind the thoughts that, look, I am fearfully and wonderfully made. When the thoughts come, say, there's nobody that can do it like I can do it. Whatever the insecurity is, you already know what it is. You already would have identified it. Stand in the mirror, stand brave, stand bold, and remind yourself of who you are. Remind yourself of what God says about you and find a reason to be better. Like, whatever you add to yourself or whatever you add to your life or whatever God bless you with, it's not supposed to identify you. If ever you find that thing identifying you, that simply means you were probably insecure in this area. There is nothing in this world more valuable than you. All the insecurities, with all the pains, with all the shame, with all the past, you still make this world what it is. And especially when you surrender your life to God, that's when you starts becoming a masterpiece. Like, it's like your life evolve. It's like you start seeing new opportunities, because when you surrender you to God, he makes the reason why he had created you the way you are, exactly how you are. He allows that to blossom. He allows that to come from the inside. If you surrender all your insecurities, if you surrender your life, he then shows you why he had to make you unique, different, and set apart. After all of that, surround yourself with positive people. Surround yourself with people who love you for who you are. If ever you find yourself amongst people that you have to do things or you have to have things to prove your worth to them, child, that group is probably just not your group. If you have to put on new self, and if you have to put on new body, and if you have to put on new everything, or if you have to have money to match a particular group or whatever, find your people, surround yourself with your people. The mere fact that God made me who I am, there are people out there that like what I like. There are people that don't like what I like. There are people that like what you like. There are people that don't like what you don't like, what you like. You understand? So at the end of the day, it's all about finding your niche in the world, finding your people. And I mean, there's sometimes people that don't like the things that we like, but we can still mesh. It's all about if you find people that appreciate you for you, because at the end of the day, each of us has something about us, despite how mad we might think we are, despite what others think of us. God thinks that we are fearfully and wonderfully made. He knows something about each and every single one of us that nobody knows, because even in the rough, each and every one of us, we are treasures in the sight of God. And even as you surround yourself with people, pray. Go to God, Daddy, this is what I feel about myself. I know or I do not know what your word says. Teach me how to better appreciate me. Because I can just imagine how God are crush when we try to do it ourselves. Let's think back to the Garden of Eden when Adam and Eve tried to clothe themselves. Like, they had sinned, they had fallen short. Them scars, them insecurities, them, it's like everything now becomes a thing to them. At first it was not a thing, but now it's a big thing. And they try to knit little things together and put on them hanger like
Child, take that off. It doesn't look good.
no, just imagine God is saying to you, that thing that you're clothing yourself with, that's not for you. But he can tell you all of this when you come into communication with him. When you take a minute from all the distractions, everything that is distracting you from your insecurities, everything taking you away, every reason why you cannot focus on you, you have to hide from this thing. It's real, it's there. God is saying, look, come unto me and I will show you the real reason why I had created you the way you were created. And if by any means anything needs to be fixed, because I am the manufacturer, you can lay at my feet. I am the potter. You are just the clay. And he, God, will shape you into that exact pot that you are supposed to be. But here makes you unique. God will put that you in you when you surrender through prayer to his will and not your will. Because at the end of the day, it's not who we are, but it's what God is. He created us and he wants us to get back to the basics of life. It doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter where you are, darlings. May you, yes, you, may you never forget that you are not too dirty for God to cleanse. You are not too broken for God to mend you. You are not too far for God to reach, nor are you too guilty to fall at his feet. Be blessed. Stay blessed. Remember, you are fearfully and wonderfully made. Who said you were naked? See you next time. Goodbye.